Hello everyone, thank you for tuning into my channel. So today's video is in regards to teaching your children responsibility. I am a mom of two, as most of you know. I have a now 4-year-old son. I cannot believe that my son Joel Jr. is 4, and you probably can hear him and his sister, my daughter Elle, who is 1. She's actually 22 months. She'll be 2 in February. So I apologize for the background noise, but I really was inspired to make this video today after going to a play date with my 2 children, and there were 5 other kids there. I traditionally would not film at this time of the day, so there's not a lot of background noise, but I need to get this out. So I often take for granted that I've raised my children to be really responsible and independent. And so when we go into environments with children that are roughly around the same age, anywhere from 2 to about 7, it kind of stands out to me how responsible and independent my children are. And not to say that the other parents are not going to teach their children responsibility at some time or at some point in their life. It's likely that they might not, but you would hope that they would. But I do notice that my children, as young as they are extremely responsible and very independent. So I just wanted to share a few of the things that my husband and I have done with our children as they've been growing up that help to foster responsibility and independence. I think sometimes as parents, we often want to just do things for our kids. Not only is it easier because obviously putting on a coat and putting things away can happen so much faster if we adults do it versus if we let them do it, but also it's just in our nature as parents to just want to do things for our children. I mean, we are their parents. So one of the things that I think we take for granted is assisting our children with simple self-help development. For example, when both of my children were the beginning stages of toddlers, kind of walking, we would make them take off their shoes when we came home in the evening or from wherever we were. We would make them take off their own shoes. And of course, at first, we were wearing like the strappy shoes. Elle still does wear some strappy shoes. It's going to be a little bit challenging because they might not exactly know how to unstrap. So what we would do is we would teach them. I would put their fingers on the straps and use my own pressure to unstrap it, and then put their hand on their heel and show them how to push the shoe off the heel. And we would get very excited when they would do it. And we would repeat this all the time, showing them this is how you take off your shoes over and over. And if you do that for a good month or so, not only do your children learn how to do it themselves, but they're older, so the natural abilities that they have start to come into place, making it a very easy thing for them to do. But of course, the consistency is really the key that makes it work. Another thing we would make them do is, kids love zippers. So you will see normally if you have a coat with a zipper, or even like the pop buttons, not the buttons that you have to stick through the hole, but a pop button, children tend to want to just do those all on their own. So we would make our children take off their coats, and they would then have to put their coat in the designated area, or they would give it to us so that we could put it away. So those are 2 very basic things you can do right now to teach your children responsibility. And of course, when it's time to go out somewhere, go get your shoes. They have to go and get them. And go get your coat, go get your hat. And all of these little things teach independence and responsibility that carry on forward as they get older. And you'll see it. And sometimes you may be thinking, well, oh yeah, of course. But I'm talking about a 12-month-old, a 13, 14, 15, 16-month-old taking off their own shoes and putting it in the designated area or giving it to an adult. And when it's time to go somewhere, going and retrieve those things on their own. Another thing that we taught our children to do that is also related to self-help is taking off your own clothes. It's very easy, of course, for an adult to just pull off some pants, pull off the shirt, pull off the socks. I get it. But your child is fully capable of assisting in that process if you give them a chance. The hardest part of undressing is the zipper, the button of a pair of pants. But most young children wear stretchy waist pants. Even to this day, my daughter still wears stretchy waist pants, and Joelle has a few athletic sportswear pants that are stretchy waist. They just need to pull them down. They may not be able to get it off the leg, but you can encourage them. Sit down now. Remind them now they sit down, and then they grab it by the foot, and you show them, grab it from here. And you want to do the same thing with the socks. Pull it off, and you'll see them yanking the toe and pulling it off, and maybe it gets caught around the ankle and the heel. And then you just kind of go and you just stick your finger in just a little bit to get it over the heel, and then you encourage them to finish it the rest of the way. And those self-help skills help to foster independence. Another one that I think is great for independence, and most parents probably already do this, is putting your toys away. Of course, we want our children to put their toys away, and it's something that we probably say ad nauseum, but I mean, like, for real. Like, you need to put them away, and you're going to put them away, and remind them to put them away all the time, and do so without making it feel like a punishment. Like, if you don't put your toys away, I'm gonna throw these things away. No, but I just remind my children, you have to go put your toys away so we can keep the floor area clear. If your toys are on the floor and I step on them by accident, you know, mommy is very heavy. If I step on that toy is gonna break. And if that toy breaks, you won't be able to play with it anymore. Is that something you want to happen? No, mommy, can we please pick up our toys and put them away? I can help you. And teaching them how to put things away in multiple. So instead of one toy clunk, one toy clunk, one toy clunk, pick up 1, 2, 3. Can you carry all of these in your hand? Yes, let's put those away at a time. Can we pick up all the blocks like this instead of 1 block, 2 block, 3 block? Can we pick them all up and throw them away? That's just another way. Because my son is a little bit older than Elle, I'll talk about a few things that we currently do with Elle that are, I would say, any child would be fully capable of doing, because she's not 2 yet and she's been doing these for a while. So Elle also has to put her clothes away in a hamper. What we did at first was we kept a little hamper basket in an area where she could go and put her things, because Elle's room is upstairs and we didn't want her to have to go up the stairs to her room to have to put these away. And then of course we'd have to monitor that experience. So we kept the basket in a very common area of the home, and she would take her clothes from the bathroom and go after we bathed and got all, moisturized and put on her clothes. She'd have to go throw her clothes in that basket. Of course, at first she would take them one by one, and then we encourage her to take more. And now she's really, really good at navigating stairs. Elle takes her clothes up to her room. She also takes her shoes up to her room, as well as a lot of her belongings, because we've been training her and instilling this type of responsibility in her. When our children are done eating, they have to remove their things from the table. Of course, it's so easy for me to just grab their bowl, grab their spoon or their fork, their cup, put it in the refrigerator if it needs to be refrigerated, or put it in the sink if it's dirty. Of course, it's easier for me to do that, but they're able to reach the sink. So why would I do it? My daughter also throws her own diaper away. After she's been changed, I have her throw the diaper away. There's many occasions where I also have her brother throw the diaper away. So they are both sharing in the responsibility of taking care of one another. And when he wore diapers, he threw his own diaper away. As far as my son goes, I want my son to have a very chivalrous spirit. As they say, chivalry is dead. I feel like it's the truth. I do train my son to have a chivalrous spirit by having him do things to support me. So, for example, most of the daytime when I'm with the kids, my husband is at work. And when I first had Elle, I obviously have to hold her. Now it's a little bit easier because she's mobile, she's walking on her own. But when you're holding a newborn baby and then you have a toddler who is 2 years old, it is very difficult to manage the baby bag and my own personal purse and holding the baby and also trying to navigate keys and the door and everything. So what I trained my son to do was hold doors open for me. I would push the door partway through with one arm and then teach him how to use his own body weight to fully open the door and stand with his back towards it using the strength of his feet to keep the door open. And this is something that he was doing at 2 years old. So whenever I needed to get through a door, I would say, "Come on, Papa," which is like my nickname for Joel. "Come on, Papa, hold the door for Mommy." And I'd push it as much as I can, holding the baby or the baby carrier, and he'd push it open and he would hold it open. And that's when we're in other environments like a store or something like that where a door needs to be held. When we're at home, my son has the responsibility of unlocking and opening our back door right after he hears me set our home alarm. So I'll set the home alarm. He's listening to it, and on cue, he unlocks the door and he pushes it open, and then he goes to the second door. We have like a closed-in sunroom porch. So he goes to the second door, he unlocks it, and he opens it, and he holds it open. At that time, my daughter Elle is coming down the stairs, and I'm usually coming back to the kitchen. This is all happening within about 30 seconds. I grab her arm and we walk down together. I close the door, lock it. All the while, my son is holding this sunroom closed-in porch door so that Elle and I can get out. And then when we're done, he closes the door, he goes to the car door and he opens it. I taught him how to open the door so that he could get inside on his own while I'm on the other side putting his sister in. So a lot of these habits that I've taught him have truly been off of the basis that there's two of you and there's only one of me. We need to get things done very quickly and I need support. So teaching my son to be responsible and independent helps me be a good super mom. We've taught our children to be independent with eating. We trained them on how to hold a spoon from a very young age. First, we would do the undergrip because it's so much easier for a child to go like this. Children tend to eat like this. And then we taught them the overgrip. This is how you put it in your mouth. And we taught them how to be independent with obviously transitioning from a bottle to a sippy cup to a straw cup to an open cup and so on. Those type of independent skills make it so much easier now if we're ever in an environment where there's no straw. I don't want my children to have a mess all over them because they're not able to drink from an open cup. And my daughter is 2 years old. I see children with bottles and I don't understand why a child who's 18, 19 months is drinking from a bottle. I don't understand that. They're fully capable of drinking from an open cup if someone would spend the time just teaching them. You don't get the biggest cup possible and give it to them. You buy those really small, kind of like a Dixie cup, if you can find something like that, or a plastic cup that's about 4 ounces, very small opening, put a little bit of water in there, and you just teach them how to use that very casually. And you don't rush things along. You don't expect your child, whatever the task is that you're giving them, to master it on the first try. When we transition from using stretchy pants to having to button up your pants and zip up your pants, there is obviously a bunch of steps that we had to teach him in order to be able to do that. He had to learn how to put on his shoes, going from I can take them off, but I can't really put them on. So we've had to teach him, this is how you put on your shoe. And you practice and you practice. My son can put on his coat. He can put on his gloves. He can put on his hat. He can put on his pants. He can put on his socks. He can fully change himself. Some of the things I've done to make them easy is when I want him to put his pants on, I lay them flat on the ground with the front facing up so that he can go sit on the ground, pick him up and stick his legs in. When it's time to put his shirt on, I lay that flat on the bed with the back up, front side facing the bed so he can go and pick it up and put it on his head. So there's a lot of different things and techniques I've done to support him in being successful, and now they just are second nature to him. One other important thing that we've done to foster independence and responsibility, we praise them when they do well. When they're capable of doing something all on their own, sometimes children will be children and they won't want to do them on their own. And they'll say, I can't do it, and they'll whine and they'll kick and they'll scream. And instead of getting frustrated, yes, you can. I mean, there are definitely moments when that happens, but for the most part, we remind them of how smart they are, how talented they are, how good they are. And usually we will pep talk them like, come on, you can do it. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. Wow, come, daddy, look, daddy, look. We'll do things like that to get them really excited about being independent. And now, you know, they're even at the point where they're brushing their own teeth. Joel, of course, uses the bathroom all on his own. Ella's potty training and she's getting better. They can get in and out of bed. We taught our children how to navigate stairs at a very young age. I was so afraid of my children falling down the stairs because our home has stairs and our apartment before we bought our home had stairs. So instead of like being nervous about our children navigating the stairs and going crazy with all the different, you know, gates and things like that, I just taught them how to navigate the stairs. I know I've said a lot, but it just was really on my spirit today after spending some time with a bunch of other children, realizing how independent my kids are and how much we've done as a mother and a father to instill that in them. And it makes me so happy, and I'm so proud when people point it out, like, wow, your kids are pretty damn responsible. They're very independent. How old is he? How old is she? When you get those type of remarks, it just kind of puts into perspective how awesome of a parent you are. So I really do hope this video was super helpful and informative. Please share with me some of the ways you are currently teaching your children to be responsible and independent. And if there's anything you want to ask me, of course, leave it in the comment section below. And as always, I love you for watching.